Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm going to try, and I got my slippers on and everything. I'm in the house, well, garage clearly. It is going to snow in a couple hours. It's supposed to be a big snowstorm. I'm not sure. I'm in Virginia, zone 8B, and there's a lot of times they say it's going to snow and then we barely get anything, and the whole place likes to shut down. But because there's a snowstorm coming and I'm not really going out because I don't know if it's coming or not. They say it's like they're so short. I'm gonna clean these 3 shelves because they need to get clean. I need another growing section for what I'm going to talk about later, or what I'm going to grow for my warm season crops. So like peppers and tomatoes. Get this cleaned up, and I'll meet you not here, but in here. I'll be right back. So that I think looks so much better. We're good. I'm gonna have to get a vacuum. I do have like a shop vac, and I could easily just put them back there. But I am not gonna do that right this second. That looks good enough. Move this forward. I'm keeping this because I think that came in with this came in with something I bought. I don't know what I bought, but it came with this bag. I think this might be really nice as like a humidity dome. It's a thicker plastic, so I think it'll last a lot longer than, cling wrap or something like that. So I'm going to keep that. Keep my spoon right there. I like my spoon because it helps me when I want to dig something out of the tray. And so now, what am I going to do? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you my seeds that I want to start. Okay, so I think I put the camera in a good position so you can see me. I have only 1, 2, 3 peppers that I'm going to do, and 4 tomatoes. Hold me to it. There are different varieties, but there's one that I realize I don't have in here that I might have to add of a tomato and take one of them out, but we'll see. Now, I don't do a lot of huge, not huge, but like specialty brands. I mostly get like the ones that you see at Lowe's or Home Depot, sprinkled in with some of the other ones like Botanical Interest or Johnny's Seeds. But I'm a home gardener. I like to grow my food sometimes, but I'm not in for the best, most flavorful variety. I mean, for me, I figure if I get any variety outside of like a beefsteak or San Marzano, like a Roma tomato or something different of a cherry tomato, I'm doing pretty good. Because you only get basically those 3 unless you go to some sort of farmer's market. You might get some more variety because that's the whole point. But when you go to a grocery store, you're getting your typical beefsteak, you're getting a type of Roma, and you're getting a cherry tomato, which is all going to be kind of the same. You're not getting a little bit upscale from that. So I'm going to show you. I'll try and see if I might be on my face or it might be on the side somewhere. I don't know if I have enough room, but we'll pop up some little pictures. That way it'd be easier for you to see it. But I will start with my peppers because those are the ones I really need to get started. Tomatoes grow pretty quickly for me here, especially since I am in zone 8B. It relatively gets pretty warm and humid, like a mixture, which can be kind of bad if it rains a lot, but for the most part, our tomatoes do really well when I get them started. And just like, I normally would have already started all my tomatoes by now, and then they would be like this tall because they grow pretty quick for me. Let's see. So the first one of my peppers, I really like these types. They're like snacking peppers, I guess you could say, because they're on the smaller side. They're called gross. Hold on, let me try something. We're gonna try and do something kind of fun. Hey, can I get this going? I don't even know if you can see my camera, right? Like the camera in my lap and me talking to you. We're gonna get there. Okay, so the first one I have is this hot pepper. It is kind of like a snacking pepper. So it's kind of small, the red, the yellow, the orange. They're, to me, they store the longest. Like, I can get them with my regular bells and they will last at least 3 weeks longer, if not longer. If stored properly, they can last a pretty long time. For this variety, it is 85 days until you actually start getting some of those harvesting. Of course, you just have to meet all those requirements with the conditions for them. For most of them, they're going to be your typical, you know, depending on the size of the seed, it'll be like 1/4, maybe half an inch, maybe a little bit less than that. Just look at the back of the container or the packet that you have, and it gives you all the instructions you need to do a successful, you know, kind of growing thing. For us, since we are 8B, we should be starting them already because they can take a little longer to germinate, but I've never really had trouble with them growing really slow. I know a lot of people say they take a while, but for me, they do pretty well, and I put them out, and we're good to go. But that is one I'm going to grow. The next one is kind of like your traditional bell mix. So the green, the yellow, the red, the orange type of bells. I don't know if this variety, it's called the Grand Bell Mix, it is a sweet pepper. I don't know whether or not it's going to, how large they get, like how large the bell actually are. They're going to be like, and that could just be dependent on how much I am taking care of it. And I'm not saying overload it with fertilizer, you'll get the biggest ones because that could cause it to rot out most likely with so much fertilizer and so much watering. But if I give it the most opportunity to grow large, I don't know what the expected size of that bell. I'm assuming it's going to be kind of your typical ones you see in the grocery store, but I get to be the one who grows it. I get to be the one to know what is going to go into growing these sweet peppers. And this one does say it takes about 65 days. So that's kind of interesting considering the smaller ones take 85, but those take 65 for the larger ones. My last one is just because sometimes you just need a little spice in your life. So when I saw this, it's a botanical interest. It is quite expensive to me. Most seeds aren't expensive. They're usually a couple of bucks. But when you start going into your botanical interest and your Baker Creek or your Johnny Seeds, they do start to kick up a notch in price. For this packet of seeds, it is the ghost pepper. It's $3.49, and you get approximately 15 seeds. Now, when you think about that, you know, 15 divided by 3.5, you're not paying a whole lot for that. You're paying what, maybe 30 cents or so. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on the quick math there. But you're not paying a whole lot. Okay, so you gotta just, it isn't a super lot, but when you think about over time, over years, or how much you need to have, it can get quite expensive if you're growing 5 different spicy or, you know, spicy type of peppers, and you got other things that are adding up. So if you get 30 different varieties, 30 varieties times 3 is what you're paying. You're paying not just for just the 15 seeds, but collectively over the season. And it is something that you might be able to save the seeds for next year, but not everything can be saved for the following year. But I am going to try these out just because it's fun, just to try something spicy, and then we go and try and eat it, and then we pass out in the front yard or the backyard, and it's all good fun. But this one is called Ghost Pepper. Let's see. It is frost sensitive, 100 days from transplanting. I don't know what that means. Frost sensitive. Is that like all one thing or two separate things? Oh, maybe that's like you need to hurry up and get them in the ground because they are frost sensitive. So you want to have at least a good amount of time before you might run out of time to actually get something from them. This is still the same, about 1/4 of an inch deep. It can take up to 25 days to emerge, but I don't usually have that long of a time, especially if I put them on a heat mat. It doesn't usually take very long for me to get germination for them to really start to put on. Tomato seeds and peppers are like the easiest things for me to grow and the easiest things for me to get to a good height. They're not super finicky, for me at least. So I'm super excited to try these out and see how spicy they are. Next are the tomatoes. I have 4 different kinds. I have the Roma, the San Marzano, kind of your typical, Roma type tomato, 1/4 of an inch as well. It takes about a week to 2 weeks for them to germinate, 85 days for them to be harvested. I have your basic, and this is an early girl. I've heard about this from other different varieties or brands like Botanical Interest, or other places have their version of the early girl. And so does the ones, I've been seeing a lot more variety nowadays. I'm not sure if it's like a trend. More people are trying to grow things at home, so there's been an uptick, I feel like, in the varieties you can buy as seeds, even in your local box stores. Are you coming in to disrupt me again? No? You're gonna come to disturb everything, disturb my peace? Okay. So, oh, come here. I think you want to say hi to everyone? Okay, you can say hi to everyone. Okay, go ahead. Say hi to everyone. Oh, no. I'm trying to tell them about my tomatoes. Yeah. You ready to go? Huh? You bored? She always looks like this. We call her Grem. She's Grumpy Grem. She's always grumpy. All right, go ahead. Okay, so this is the early girl. So like I said, I've been seeing a lot more varieties. So there's like specialty kinds, but they're still in like your box store. And I don't know if they're specialty or not, but like more improved varieties. It seems like it takes a little bit of time for it to trickle down to the box stores, but they have a lot more these days, which is great. So I'm hoping that I can get something like this. I don't know if it's specifically a beefsteak, but it looks kind of on the larger side. So I'm hoping we'll get something early. Because tomatoes, even though the plant itself does not take very long to put on foliage, it takes forever for, I think, the fruit to really start to form, especially for your beefsteak. The other one I saw that was something new that I've never seen before, at least for me, is the Rainbow Blend. This was something new. This is $3, which is a little bit more than what I normally pay for my seeds. Normally my seeds are like a couple of bucks, like less than $2, $1.99. This one's starting to push $3 now. And then it does take about 70 days, about the same depth for that as well to plant them. And then the last one are your Cherokee Purple. These I just really wanted to get just because of the way they look. I have no idea if they're going to taste good. Don't be fooled by the heirloom. Does not mean that it is flavorful or that it is delicious or that it will be the best producer. It just means that it's one of the older varieties of seeds. As far as my research has gone, it doesn't mean that it is something super magnificent as far as I know. But this is called Cherokee Purple. 82 days until it can be harvested, and that is if the conditions are right. If the plant's conditions are not being met, it can be 100 days and they still haven't produced any fruit. So if your conditions are good and the plant is happy, it should roughly start to produce fruit that can be harvested at that time frame. So keep that in mind. Okay, so those are the ones that I am growing. I am super excited. I can't wait. I'm probably going to go ahead and get them in the pots at some point in time, but I'm going to do a little fun thing. It's going to be kind of like a choose your own adventure. sort of video where you get to pick what kind of style do you want to do. Do you want to do it in plastic containers? Do you want to do it in a seed cell tray like the ones up here, the big ones I had up there earlier? Do you want to do it in paper pots? It's just going to show you a kind of a breakdown of what it will be like to choose from each different variety and kind of a wrap up of cost. And I'm going to try and put as much of that information in that video just so you can kind of see where you might fall into. I've tried all of them. They're all kind of good. They all have their pros and cons. I think the paper one is the most economical, and it's something that you don't have to go out to go get. The reason why I say that is because most of us use paper towels and or paper tissue, like toilet paper, and there's a free resource right inside the roll. So when you're done with your roll, you can put it back into the circle of life because, once you eat, it's a one tube thing, right? It gotta go in, it gotta come out. So it's like that cycle. All right, well, that's it. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Hey, that was actually pretty nice. Cleaning's not so bad together. Hi, baby. Come here. Hello. Can you say hi, everyone? Hi. I'm showing okay, she's in here.